Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. Now, I've been sat here for an embarrassingly large amount of time. Now, I finally got what I want. Finally got the rare candy. Essentially, you can play, obviously over here with the historic, and you can play here with the random. The thing is with the random, there's some I've noticed that are very difficult to get actually together as one, as like three policies. But I finally got it. I've been sat here about 15 or so minutes, maybe about 20 minutes, actually just clicking random. I don't know how many times I've actually clicked random, but I've clicked random a lot of times here. But I wanted to really see what a industrialized Confederate States of America might look like. So I managed to get here industrialization. So civil industrialization, all heavy industries will start the campaign with higher upgrade level. Confederacy will start the campaign with more rail lines built, and population is increased in 7 states considerably. We do have the arms agent. Organize movement of weapons to 7 armies and forts. Amount of weapons available to the Confederacy is doubled, and Springfield weapon types become available for production in the Southern industry. And then, this one over here, Southern Pacific. Support the construction of Southern Pacific Railroad, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific coasts, increase the trade with the western states. The game will start with Southern Pacific Railroad built and Confederacy controlling parts of trade to the Pacific coast. Really happy about that. Really happy about that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and see what it looks like with these policies here. Policies in the South allow taking full advantage of the Industrial Revolution at hand, and new railroads are laid while industry profits soar, with private companies investing in expansion, with prosperity and offered jobs. Immigrants from Europe move into southern states in a steady flood, increasing their population fast. I do wonder if that's actually an explanation behind the alternate history here, essentially. Okay. Oh yes, it does actually. We have Secretary of War resides at his actions to relocate weapons to the United States armies in the north to 7 depots and forts is revealed. Oh, as his actions? Oh, that's really fascinating. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. All through 1860, officers and politicians all to the south have organized movement of weapons to the south, doubling the number of weapons available to the Confederacy. Oh, that's cool. I like it actually gives you information as to why this actually happens. It's not just like, oh, it just happened. But here we are then. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a look here. So we are going to be playing a Confederacy that is significantly more industrialized. A much greater degree of industrialization is going to be superb here. As of course we do have Mexico down here still, of course. There was a number of options. Like we could have potentially had Nicaragua and Cuba, which would have been rather intriguing actually. There are a number of ways I'd like to play the game. I think in the future what I'd like to do is actually play the game with as many states as possible supporting the actual Confederacy. So having greater support out here in Texas, having greater support in these territories over here, obviously having greater support in Virginia would be very nice there. And that would be rather interesting. Okay, so take a look over here. Let's see. Yeah, so this is interesting. This starts. If we take a look over here, North Carolina, we have Virginia, which I'm not entirely sure. I don't think we have Virginia as part of the Confederacy, which is actually really different. And so, yeah, we've definitely paid for this. So, yes, Virginia is part of the Union, which is really intriguing. So we've definitely paid for this industrialization, actually. So it does make me wonder what we've actually lost and what we've actually gained there. So we've lost Virginia. And it looks like South Carolina as well, so that's really intriguing there. What is our support in these states? Not seeing it. Oh, right, there we go, yes. So I do have support over here at 75% in North Carolina. We have support in Virginia at 70%, so yeah, we paid for it, but maybe it's a worthwhile exchange there. But this is a smaller Confederacy, but a much more industrialized, a much further, all round, yeah. Industrialization has been pushed as much as possible. Does put us in a weaker position. Sorry about being all up and down and getting tongue-tied. I'm just really excited about this. I've been doing this for quite a while and to try and get this, and I'm like, yes, we finally got it now. But this is actually quite a fascinating position, so let's take a look at this then. So strategy, of course, then. Men fielded over here. So yes, the Union still have a control of Virginia, and South Carolina is quite intriguing. So we do have a small number of actual garrisons. The fleet doesn't look to be any particular different, though actually it just seems to be a little bit smaller. I'd have to compare it properly. But we should have access to more weapons. We should have, just in general, a much greater industry, and I can't wait to see that. So that's our policies. Let's see, do we have any different policies here? So we have industrialization, which would be really great, but I'll push this even further out here, which is excellent. It does make me wonder what a industrialized South could actually manage. Because if we do have the industry potentially to fight for longer, that would actually really change the course of events in history. So let's take a look over here then. So production. So value production looks to be much increased there. It's a little bit hard. I'd have to actually go ahead and take a look at side by side. But let's see then. Yes, okay, so we do have level 2 factories over here then, which is pretty cool. And let's go ahead and we'll take a look then. So brickworks, obviously it'd be nice to have like a side by side comparison. We have a level 1 brickwork here. Foundries, no foundries, unfortunately. Farms, of course, we do have farms, but they are larger. Well, some of them are larger, I think. Ironwork should be increased. Yes, level 2 here. Level 2, level 2, and level 2 there. That's excellent news. So we do have larger ironworks from the outset. Lumber mills, perhaps 2. We have the Shelby Iron Company out here. Not too sure why that's considered. Oh, it's because I've still got these selected here then. Okay, that's fine. Factories. Level 2, level 3 over here. Level 3, level 2, level 2, and level 2. Having level 3 is very nice. Let's see, mills. We have one mill here, which is level 1. This is producing the flour. Obviously quite useful. We do have our mines. So we have a night mine over here. We have coal mines. These are level 1. It would be nice to actually be able to spend state funds to actually increase their size. We do have a good large number of plantations there. Yeah, you can see these plantations are varying sizes, but yes, they are pretty damn profitable for us now. We have our ports over here. I'm not sure if ports. Salt works. I do have a number of salt works over here. These are quite useful. But there we go. It's trying to get like an actual idea of what the difference is in terms of industrialization. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but we should have more rail lines. We should have more industry. It'd be really good to have like a side-by-side comparison just to take a look at that. But if we take a look over here, then I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at a historic star just to see those differences. Really, I think this looks to be a larger rail line. It does look to be larger. It should actually be the South Pacific Rail Line. Southern Pacific Rail Line. Let's see. Oh, I've got a... there we go, I have my own little town out here. That's named after me. Oh, excellent. Right then. So we do have here then the rail lines, but it looks like they end here as they go into Texas, as they enter into the state of Texas, it seems. But it looks like a larger rail line. Stretching across over here from out here Atlanta, Charleston, Savannah, through Macon, Montgomery, and Vicksburg. And that's actually quite intriguing then. So we do have that going for us, which is nice. So we should, yeah, let's see. And that should really help us out pretty considerably, really. So that's really nice there. We should also have an increased amount of actual arms as well, and a greater access to said arms too, which is very nice. Now, let's see, if I was to go here. Ironworks. Is it the ironworks or is it the factories here? So these are actually producing weapons. Can I tell them which weapon to produce then? I do wonder. But I imagine we should have a greater access of, well, greater availability of weapons, I should say. So if I was to go here, new army. Right, there we go. Yeah, the only issues we have paid for that, we have no Virginia, which is quite sizable. It does say Virginia over here, but I can't do anything with Virginia. But it's support, which is good to have here. South Carolina. Support isn't that high, but it's sizable. I mean, Tennessee's 65. They could probably be brought round to join and secede. It does make you wonder, though, if they were to secede later on, would they be in a better position, perhaps? It could be really quite intriguing, actually, to have that turn upon the Union. But we are technically in a weaker position, as we have less seceded states that have joined the Confederacy. But we do, in theory, have a much stronger rail line, a much stronger rail infrastructure. We should have, in theory, and it does seem to be so, that we have a much stronger industry base there. So we'll have to see how that compares. I'd love to take a look at the comparisons here. And having a greater access access to arms would be very nice. Having twice as many arms at the beginning of the game, having access to superior arms is very important as well. It should actually allow us to actually keep up with the Union. And prolong the war, definitely prolong the war without doubt. So what we're going to do here then is, let's see, South Carolina. Okay. What I'd like to do then is, let's see. So I have Columbia here. Macon. Is this the state of Macon? What's the actual state name? Oh. Columbia. See, I'm not as familiar with all the states here. Right, Georgia, there we go. Love that music. I mean, this could be a very interesting position to play from, because it does definitely change the geography here. I mean, we have the, the Appalachian Mountain Range here. We do have a number of important rivers, but as I said, we are much further away from Washington, so I can imagine the amount of support in the Union States should be higher, considering that Washington isn't as exposed as it would be normally. But I mean, this is it. In not having Richmond, we have lost some important centers out here. And if we take a look, Richmond is a size 4 with our ironworks here. So we are losing things by gaining too, but that's really intriguing to even have this as an actual option. So I think this might be the campaign that I should choose to carry on with, because it's really an intriguing premise, and I do like that. I mean, not Columbia, sorry, but having South Carolina as the battleground state, as the front lines could be intriguing. But having the possibility to actually have North Carolina, Virginia secede and join the Confederacy at a later date could be interesting. And potentially having different states seceding could be very intriguing. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is actually raise the command in, I'd say probably Georgia or South Carolina. Depends really on where. I'd imagine Georgia might be a good idea. Georgia has 1,833 there. South Carolina 1,267. So yes, Georgia's going to have the army command here. So we'll go ahead and we'll raise that command. So we do have here Price's army. So Brigadier General still in Price. Like that name. The commander here, he is a veteran. He's famous. He's obviously increasing in fame now because he's obviously been given the army command. He's politically assigned. Probably not the best commander, actually. So we could look to potentially have him replaced, but it seems like there's a bit of a bug here at the moment in time to have that done. Oh, actually, no, here we go. They're all assigned here right now, so I only have the one Brigadier General. We could potentially have others promoted to that position, but right now we only have Price here. Okay. I'm glad it's not a bug. So what we'll do then is we'll create a new group. I don't want to create a corps. I'm just going to have units assigned directly here. Perhaps in the future we'll be able to create a new corps below this army. That'll probably be changed in the future because there's actually a policy that is meant to give you access to the corps system. Can I not add units here? I think I might have to. No, it's not allowing me to do anything right now. Okay, that's a bit of a shame. I might have clicked on something here. Yeah, the beta is definitely still beta here. Right, field armies. Yes, it does not seem to like that right now. Let's see. Oh, so the game's still in development. So ideally these things will be worked out as we go along. Let's see. I just want to get an idea of what we could look like. Let's see, units. It's not allowing me to do that. Might have a bit of a bug here. Actually not allowing us yet, because these are working right now. Seems I have this selected, but I'm not selecting it. Okay. So this is like a little bug that we've encountered right now, so I can't do anything on the military screen right here. But okay, that's fine. We'll take a look at elsewhere. Ideally, we can have that fixed. But if we take a look over here, then zoom out so we can get that music going again. Right. High incomes there. Yep. Okay. This is it. The more industry we have, the greater the level of industry we have, the better. It gives us a lot to work with. We definitely look like we have a good surplus. I mean, 132 million. Yeah, I'll take that. Obviously, that's not correct, but that's looking pretty good. Well, let's see. It'd be nice to actually compare in terms of industry. Obviously, we can go to come nowhere near, I'd imagine. Industry. I mean, right now the investment is low, but we could obviously increase that. But there we go. So I was hoping to actually show a little bit more. Maybe I could try and get the military screen to work again, but I might have to just restart things. But we're looking pretty good here. The game is definitely beautiful. Definitely looking forward to seeing what will happen in the future. And that's pretty cool. We do start out with a greater access to armaments. We have a rail infrastructure there that we would have not had, a rail backbone that we would not have had normally, and we have the industry here to work with, so that's pretty cool. I just thought I'd show you guys one of the different scenarios they can actually achieve here, which is pretty awesome. So this is a very different Confederate States of America. It is one that does not have the support of North Carolina, nor Virginia as ceded states, but who knows how this could actually shape up. It actually does put us in a very interesting position, because it's one of these of where we're in a very much an unknown situation right now. But there you go. I hope you guys are excited. I'm looking forward to when the game does come out. Ideally, these bugs will be fixed. And this is the beauty of this, really. You guys do not have to spend money to watch chumps like me actually play the game for you and show you whether or not it's worthwhile or worth your time. So if you have enjoyed this, please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. And potentially consider becoming a patron. That would be excellent and really appreciated. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves, and I shall see you in the future. Goodbye for now. See you next time.